Day one, the trial of the Territory's crocodile wrangler underway.
Mr. Wright, how are you feeling going into day one of the trial?
The allegations against him detailed to the court for the very first time. In his opening address, Jason Galacci told the jury Mr. Wright interfered with the investigation into the 2022 helicopter crash by providing false information to police, avoiding producing relevant original documents, and attempting to manipulate records of the helicopter involved in the accident. Among the evidence expected to be heard over the next few weeks, allegations of what Mr. Wright did at the scene, what he said to the pilot in the hospital just days later, and snippets of covert recorded conversations taken from Mr. Wright's phone. The prosecution alleged Mr. Wright was involved in a pattern of behaviour whereby helicopter records, including flight time, maintenance and servicing, weren't accurately maintained. And it's this that the prosecution say was the motive for Mr. Wright to allegedly interfere with the investigation into the crash. The prosecution was at pains to reinforce that none of the charges against Mr. Wright suggest he was in any way responsible for the crash itself or the death or injury of the men involved. Mr. Wright sat with his head in his hands, wiping away tears, as Mr. Galacci took the jury through the day Chris Wilson died during the ill-fated egg-collecting mission in remote Arnhem Land. Mr. Galacci said Mr. Wright, after arriving at the scene, played around with the dash of the helicopter, the prosecution suggesting he was checking whether the Hobbs meter, a device which tracks flight time, was connected. An emotional start with undoubtedly more difficult moments yet to come. Despite speaking for 3 hours, the prosecutor was unable to finish his opening remarks this afternoon, which means the defence won't be able to do their opening until tomorrow. There were delays this morning when the jury was brought in late and asked by the judge whether any of them had seen an episode of Channel 9's A Current Affair last night, which featured a piece about Mr. Wright. The judge said it seemed clear that the piece may infer that Mr. Wright was guilty of something and was an example of what TV journalists should not be doing. One juror did come forward and say he had seen the piece, but when asked by the judge whether it would impact his impartiality, he said no. The judge then instructed the jury not to seek out the piece or to discuss it, and reinforced the need for Mr. Wright to be able to receive a fair and unbiased trial. Prominent crocodile farmer and Northern Territory businessman Michael Burns is expected to be the first witness to give evidence in this trial when proceedings resume here at the Northern Territory Supreme Court in Darwin tomorrow morning.